Hello, I'm Dr. Demchenko, and today we're going to talk about stretching and proper muscles for the health of the knee joint. So, which muscles are important for the knee to feel good? Of course, all muscles are important, but the quadriceps, which is the straight muscle of the thigh, the popliteal muscle, and the Sartorius muscle have the greatest impact. People are familiar with the calf and thigh muscles, but less so with the Sartorius muscle. The thing is, under the calf muscle, there is another very important muscle, practically the triceps of the leg, flat, called the Sartorius muscle. It will also have a strong influence on both the ankle joint and the knee joint. Today we will talk about how to properly stretch them and why it is necessary to stretch them. As I said in the last episode, for the joints to function well, the muscles that serve their movements must be strong and well stretched. Since you put a lot of strain on your muscles during special exercises, that is, when you play sports, in principle, it is not necessary to train individual muscles separately. But it's very important to stretch them properly. How should this be done? I'll repeat once again, this needs to be done every day for 3 weeks because the muscle needs to grow a bit in length. In order for it to grow in length, we need to stretch it every day and tell our receptors that we need a longer muscle. Doing this only 2 or 3 times a week will result in very slow muscle growth in length. Therefore, we will stretch the muscle for 40 seconds daily for 3 weeks to lengthen it. Then we will need to stretch it twice a week just so it doesn't shorten. Accordingly, let's start with the quadriceps. Typically, all quadriceps muscles are similar. They take the shin and pull the leg back. This is the most common mistake when stretching the quadriceps, because in such a position, the quadriceps is practically not stretched. The first moment, it's very important that the leg does not go sideways, because as soon as the leg goes sideways, the stretch from the quadriceps falls off. That is, the leg should be straight and the quadriceps should go straight back. The second moment, you can see the quadriceps stretch like this. When they pull, when they just bend the knee. The thing is that when we just bend the knee, we practically only stretch the lateral heads of the quadriceps, which go to the right and left. Because the quadriceps, from the word quadro, that is 4, it has 4 practically separate muscles. 2 lateral muscles, which do not reach the end, are small, and they are the ones that are stretched. Of course, it's also beneficial for the knee, but the most beneficial for the knee is the stretching of the straight head. That is the one that attaches to the pelvis and the greater trochanter, a long head. It determines how much the kneecap, the little knee cup, presses against the thigh bone and, let's say, mitigates the wear and tear of the knee joint. To avoid these problems, it is necessary to stretch this long muscle very well. For this, when we squat, it's not enough to just bend the knee. It's very important to move the thigh back until the moment when you start to feel the tension right here, not here, but here. If you feel the tension here, then this is a more correct position and you are stretching the correct portion of the muscle. If you lack a bit of movement coordination to do this on one leg, you can intensify the stretch and lighten it, and with the help of support, here you can put your knee on some support, preferably somewhat soft. If you put your knee on the support, it will be easier for you to move forward and intensify the stretch of the front head of the quadriceps. In this way. If there is no convenient support, then this can be done on the floor. Now, it is also necessary to put something soft under the knee and do such a drop. In this position, you will stretch the quadriceps very well. Accordingly, to stretch, you need to hold for 36 seconds. If you don't want to measure time, you can count it for yourself or rely on your feelings. So what is the correct feeling? You've reached a good stretch and hold it. At a certain point in time, you will feel the sensation of stretch fading. The muscle appears to have released and relaxed. This is a very correct feeling, to which actually it needs to be stretched. Once you feel this, move on to stretching another muscle. Let's continue discussing the Iliacus and Sartorius muscles. What is their main difference? The thing is that the iliac muscle attaches behind the knee joint, that is, above the knee joint on the femur. In fact, it crosses over 2 joints, through the knee joint and the ankle joint, and it attaches to the metatarsal bone. The calf muscle is located under the kneecap and it attaches below the knee joint, right here, and also crosses over the ankle joint. Both of these muscles, they both participate in the movement and they lift us and release us smoothly. Since the calf muscle goes through two joints, through the knee joint and through the ankle joint, it will affect both the movement in the ankle joint and the movement in the knee. Accordingly, the calf muscle, it attaches below the knee joint and will only affect the ankle joint. Because they attach in different places, there is a slight nuance to their stretching. The thing is that usually everyone only stretches the calf muscle. To stretch the calf muscle, they usually use such a method. They put their toes on the edge or on the wall and try to bring the body forward. Because of this, in another variant, when we lean against the wall, we stretch, and in the variant, another variant, when we lean against the wall, we stretch the back leg, the knee is straight again, and we try to bend down. This also stretches the calf muscle very well. But since the calf muscle is stronger and larger than the soleus, it is located higher, it stretches first. And no matter how much we stretch the calf muscle, the muscle underneath, which is the soleus, will stretch very poorly. Accordingly, people often come to me with pain in the area around the knee joint, and we stretch the calf muscle very well, but we still have pain there, because people do not stretch the soleus muscle. Accordingly, to stretch the soleus, you need to bend the knee joint. That's why we use a small step or a curve for this. You need to bend your knee, put your foot on the edge of the step, and lower your heel down with a bent knee. Ooh. You will feel that the stretch will not be as usual, but when stretching the calf muscle, it will be lower. And approximately here. This will be a characteristic stretch specifically for the hamstring muscle. Such a stretch. It's very important to stretch them separately, because if you stretch them together, the hamstring's tendon practically doesn't stretch. This advice is very useful for everyone who rides the subway. The thing is, in the subway, you can stretch the calf and hamstring muscles very well, practically without detaching from the ride. Imagine this is an escalator step. If you are on an escalator, you can put one foot on a step higher and apply a little pressure to the toe. Accordingly, in this way, you can stretch the hamstring muscle. If you need to stretch the calf muscle, then you can pull the calf muscle very well, and also the back surface of the thigh. Thus, on the escalator, you can stretch both the hamstring and the calf very well in one ride. Accordingly, why stretch the hamstring if it does not participate in the movement of the knee joint? The thing is, it actively participates in the movement of the ankle, and the ankle is directly connected to the knee joint. The thing is, like, if you can't properly flex the ankle joint, which happens most often due to overstrain of the calf muscle, then you have to compensate with the knee, and the knee starts to get very heavily loaded. Therefore, in order for your knee to feel good, you need to stretch both the hamstring and the calf muscle and the quadriceps. This will greatly unload the knee joint and reduce your trauma. Engage in sports happily, without injuries, and engage more in prevention. This can help preserve your knees too. If you liked it, like the video, it allows to make more interesting videos for you. Come in, tell your friends.